This here is a 2-year-old filly I've been working with about 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks now. So I want to get her given to the bit a little bit better. And I'm gonna put my draw reins on her and bit her up. She's still a little fidgety. But every time you do something with a horse, you're teaching them something. You just gotta make sure you're teaching them the right thing. It's always better to err on too long to start off, and then shorten your reins up if you need them to give a little bit more. I always suck that belly strap up, let them know it's there. And then as they get more accustomed to it, I'll leave it looser. So today, this is her first time out in this round pen. Whole new deal for her. She's been a little bit like this anyway, where she'll go along and be quiet, and then just out of the blue, she'll throw herself a little bucking fit. Riding wise, she hadn't done it, but this is all something new to her today. So right there where I just shortened it up a touch, and she just tucked her nose a little bit and then dropped that neck just a touch. And that's all I'm looking for. So when she meets that pressure, I want her just to give her that pressure and tuck her nose and relax that neck. And this is gonna be the beginning of getting one to collect up around their back and drive up underneath himself better. So to the right, she's always been a little more where she wants to go. She'll quiet down to the left a little bit more. With those reins a little bit shorter there at the lope, she's giving better. She's still pushing out, like she's lifting her head and pushing into it. But I'm not looking for perfection today. I'm just wanting her to get the idea to give that pressure. Because a horse that had never had any of this done, they would not be accepting the bit nearly as well as what she is. I've done a lot to her before I started riding her, just getting her safe in the face, getting her to accept the contact of the bit and getting pulled on. And that's all we're looking for. Safe in the face. So when I first bit one up, I don't have them hooked up to a line. When I pull this rope, it's going to put more pressure on her and could potentially cause a negative reaction. Now I've lunged her on the line, and so we're going to see how it goes here. When they're loose, they have a tendency to want to always turn into that fence, and I'm wanting her to pay attention, stop, look at me, think, and turn the other direction. This way I can get her focused. So that was a nice turn right there. This is going to simulate more like where my hands are going to be. And I just want to make sure they're going to take that pull. If I pull them to the right, she accepts it, gives. It's fine. She's moving her hind end. If she'll move that front end, that'll be good too. I just wanted to get her to right there. Then I add the outside indirect rein, ask her to back up. And that's a just getting them used to having that much contact on the bit. She's had this done, so I mean, she's given really good. I get all this before I ever get on them, so that way when I do get on them, I can get them quiet and paying attention to me rather than just reacting out of fear. It doesn't eliminate completely one not bucking, but for the most part, you can get one to stop, get them pulled around. not, they've already had the contact with the bit, so like you go to pull them around, you have a better shot of them not overreacting and either hitting it and rearing up in the air, or sometimes when you, if they hadn't had the contact of the bit, they'll even buck harder when you take a hold of them. So everything you do, you're teaching them something. So if that first ride, we just get on them and had never taught her how to accept the bit or anything, and just let her go do her deal, and she goes to bucking, you're teaching her that's what you want her to do. Now it can work out sometimes, but that's not my goal. My goal is to have a nice quiet ride, nice easy relaxing ride for them for that first time. I'm not looking for anything other than it, when I put pressure there, she gives to it, and that's the main thing. I'm not trying to get her all collected or anything like that. But with that being said, as I ride her around there, I'll get her to start dropping that head down and relaxing that neck. So now I just slow my seat, and she's wanting to slow down, and that's what I'm looking for. So I was driving around there and making her stay loping for a little bit, just to get some of that silliness out. And then I want her to start learning to follow my body. I could tell she was ready to slow down, so I just slowed my body, and it ends up being where it's kind of like their idea. And then they start just getting better and better. Oh. This is a 2-year-old stud colt. It's a barrel prospect. I've had him about, let's see, 3 months now, I think, somewhere in there. I start all my horses the same, no matter what discipline they're going to be going into. It's all building that foundation and teaching them how to use their body. And then once they get that aspect of it, then you can start training for specific disciplines. But the process is all the same. They've got to be safe in the face, give the bit, learn to reach and stretch that neck, get long and low, the head goes down, the back starts coming up, and they start moving better. And once they get all those foundation stuff, and then you can start tweaking your program for the discipline that you're going to be working towards. The biggest mistake people can make getting these horses started is skipping that foundation part and worrying too much about what that end goal is. You know, say we got a barrel horse, because that's what I'm riding, or that's what his goal in life is to be a barrel horse. But if you just get him broke to ride and then just start working barrels and start running barrels on him, I don't think you're doing him a justice. The more broke they are and they get that good foundation, the more control you got and the longer they're gonna, you know, have a career. My goal isn't for him to go around on a loose rein with his nose tucked and all that. I want to make sure I can get his nose tucked and reach and get him stretching his neck down, and he doesn't have to lope around with his head down in the dirt all the time. But this is just relaxing, getting him given, learning how to round that back up. You know, and a horse. End goal is to get him to ride around on a loose rein. He stays at a good cadence speed, stays together. And then if I pick up on him, he gives and is respectful to that bit. So I'm gonna work a little bit on steering. There when I loped him off, I'm not too worried about him just having to lope off from a walk just yet. But I don't want him chasing up into it out of the trot. He stayed together, collected up pretty good, and then he loped off there fine for me. Later on down the road, we'll worry about getting it more dialed in. But when I feel that horse sticking his body out, I'm gonna turn and cut across that circle, get in a straight line, and then pick my circle back up. In order to lope a circle, you have to not lope a circle. So like right here, he's not leaning, he's doing good, he's standing between my reins and my legs. Right there, he's starting to leave. So I'll turn him. Once he makes that turn, that's when I release and go straight. As he gets better at guiding, he'll make that turn quicker. I'm gonna slow my body and let him kind of slow down. Put a little pressure on the bit there to teach him to follow me, and then slow down the walk. At the end of 90 days, I'd like to have a horse that, you know, it's safe in the face. You can pull on him, you can get him pulled around, you can pull on him and get him stopped. Loping off both directions easy. They're not gonna have the, you know, be so finished that you slide your leg back and they lope off, but I wanna know I can put them in that position and they're gonna roll up into that lope easy. And I think that if we start them proper and give them that, rather than just throwing it all at them at once and throwing the slapping the saddle on and slapping the bit on and jumping on their back and yeehawing around, develop a little bit of a foundation and then go from there.